I have come to the conclusion that human beings are born with an innate capacity to triumph over trauma. In doing so, we will significantly increase our ability to achieve both our individual and collective dreams. Peter Levine. Welcome to week 8. This is our halfway point, Healing Trauma Part 2. So let's start out. We'll light our candle, create a container for grief. And in doing this, we are practicing a ritual that we're not only symbolically lighting this candle so that our flame can ripple out and touch each other and create this container, we're also creating this ritual that we remember when we need to tap into this container for grief. Now we know a ritual that we can do that helps us remember that there is a container for grief. We can create that container when we need it. All right, today we're going to start with a tuning in, a check-in. We'll go over today's material, and it's all about love. It's all about love. All the way through, before, during, and after. That's great. All right, so let's start with a tuning in. If your feet are on the floor, so be it. If your feet are up and crossed, whatever's comfortable for you. Rock back and forth and find that sweet spot in the middle where you're not pulling from the front body or the back body, you're just sort of landing in the middle. Think of your head like a helium balloon lifting, and the body is the string hanging down. And then notice your breath, breathing your body. As you inhale, you're pulling in brand new breath, brand new oxygen, something brand new, some quality from the energetic field that you want to be filled with. An invitation to soften, to loosen anything that's in the physical body, the energetic body, the emotional body, the mental body, anything that's in you that feels like it wants to be loosened up, opened up, and released. And then through the exhale, we'll say thank you to that which has served us. Thank you for being willing to be released. Thank you for being willing to move out and be cleansed. And when you're cleansed, you'll be recycled through the airwaves, breathed in by the plants, breathed out, breathed in by animals, breathed out, breathed into the elements, breathed out, and eventually breathed back in as something loving, connected, open, spacious, peaceful. And I invite you to hum your exhale out. So inhale, and then hum your exhale out. All right, so today's material is a continuation of healing trauma. And we're I just want to point out that some of the tools that we went over last week are things that should not be done on your own. They are things that need to be done in a supportive setting with professionals, with people who know what they're doing. This is what they do, and not to be done ever, ever, ever alone. So EMDR, entheogenic medicine, holotropic breath work, and I would say psychodrama you probably could do on your own, but it's best done with someone who can guide and be a therapist if needed. If you get too deep into a traumatic place, it's good to have a therapist nearby to know what to do with you, to help you. Because sometimes we get stuck in our subpersonalities, right? They take over, and we need sometimes someone to help us come out of that. Definitely entheogenic medicine and holotropic breath work, though. Those two I'm going to just say, and EMDR. Those three. You got to do those with someone who knows what they're doing. All right. Healing doesn't mean the pain never existed. It means the damage no longer controls our lives. Karen Samuelson. Breathe. Let go. Remind yourself that this very moment is the only one you know you have for sure. Oprah Winfrey. All right, I'm going to have everybody stand up. Inhale your arms up. Exhale your shoulders down. Inhale your ribs wide. Exhale and hum. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, shoulders down. Inhale your ribs wide. Exhale and hum. One more time. Continue to stand, and we're going to move right into Qigong shaking. So we've done Qigong shaking before to release stress. Shake your arms, shake your hands so your wrists sort of disappear. Bounce on the back of your heels. Let the back of your head loosen up. Inhale through your nose, exhale and sigh, big sigh. Continue to do this. And what we're doing now is we're loosening up any trauma. Not only are we getting rid of stress, but we're loosening up trauma that's in the skin, in the cells, in the tissue, and allowing it to release without even looking at what it is, just releasing anything that's ready and willing to be released. Continue to do that, Qigong shaking. Continue, don't stop. You want to get a good, maybe full 3 minutes. And I'm just going to mention that I was a little ahead of myself last week when we talked about tapping, and I started talking about this method of doing exercise that causes your muscles to fatigue to the point where they start shaking, and then you lay down and you allow that shaking, that trauma release. That's actually shaking. That's actually tension, stress, trauma release, TRE. And if you hover over this site on your slide, when you get it, you can check that out more. And then there's also somatic experiencing, trauma release through the traumahealing.org website. So you can come back and check that out. All right. So just stand now and feel the vibration in your body. Feel that vibration. If you're sitting, just feel the vibration. And now we're going to do something called release and replace. So choose a quality that you would like to be filled with. Maybe it's peace, maybe it's clarity, whatever the quality is. And once you've figured out what you would like to be filled with, look around your space and choose an object. It could be a plant, it could be a painting, it could be anything. Anything that makes you think of this quality. And take that quality, energetically imbue it into that object, so that that object now has that quality. And you can remember what that quality feels like. Put that quality in that picture or that object and say to yourself, that reminds me of this quality that I want to be filled with. And actually feel your remembering of that quality. Feel it in that object. Know that it's there for you anytime. Now choose something that's inside of you that you would like to get rid of. Some old trauma that keeps coming around. Take a deep breath and exhale that trauma into the space around you, knowing that it's going to be cleansed. Knowing that this thing that was inside was serving some purpose, and it's being willing to leave now. It's being willing to be cleansed. So breathe in and breathe out the trauma into this cleansing material around you. And now the space that's being created from getting this out, look at that object that you've imbued that quality and breathe it in. Look at that object. Remember that quality and breathe it in. And sit with that. Sit with that quality inside of yourself. That's released and replaced. And you can test this to see if it worked. You can come back to that trauma, that thought, and think about it. And see if you now can think about it without the trauma reaction, emotions, being stuck to it. If you can think about it as a memory now. Test that. See if that helped you. Yeah, good. All right, so now we are going to do some shared reading. And Kat, are you still with us? All right, we'll find out in a minute. So I know that affirmations have gotten a bad rap, but this woman, Bella Ruth Naparstek, has made her life work out of doing guided meditation and healing affirmations. And these 32 affirmations that we're going to read together, Bella Ruth Naparstek came up with these in 1992 to help facilitate the healing of trauma specifically. She also started this Health Journeys, and you can check out her website, and has tons of audios that are meditation for depression, for PTSD, for all sorts of specific things. This particular one that we're going to do is healing trauma. So when doing healing affirmations, it's most effective to use these healing affirmations over a period of time regularly. So you could choose a week or a month. You could give yourself some kind of a, every day at this time, I'm going to do my healing affirmations. And then as you do these healing affirmations, you'll find that you may want to modify or add affirmations. And if you do that, it becomes much deeper because it's your own value system, your own sense of self that you're tapping into. And then over time, you're also going to notice probably that the affirmations are going to change because you're going to change. Your healing and your growth are going to want to change those affirmations as you change. So we're going to read these together, and I've color-coded them so that we each are going to read one affirmation, one after another. There's 32 of them. So I'm going to have everybody unmute, and I'm going to give you a color, and every time you see that color, that's yours. So just pay attention. Every single screen is going to go red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, just like, colors of the rainbow without indigo. And Kat, would you take red? Would you take the first one? And
Okay.
then Remy, would you take orange? And Nancy, would you take yellow? Allie, green? Jonas, blue? And I'll take purple. So Kat, would you get us started, please?
Yes, I just want to open with saying Bella Ruth Naparstek and Health Journeys has been my guiding force on how I've gotten to where I am now. I listened to the ones for TBI starting with, and it was headphones at night. I would sleep to this. It was then going to the gym, my headphones, and just listening to those affirmations has gotten me to where I am now. And I listen to meditation music at night, and I haven't been doing that lately, and I need to get back to it. So thank you.
Thank you for that testimonial.
I have told 2 years in a row at the Brain Injury Conference in Burlington that people need to be listening to Health Journeys. It is so helpful. I declare my intention to heal myself in my body, mind, and spirit.
More and more, I understand that this will happen as it should in its own way and its own time.
I invite assistance from friends and loved ones, past, present, and future, to lend me their support and strength.
I see myself surrounded by their love and caring, and I feel it all through me like a warm wave.
I know I am better and better able to accept what I feel as my inner truth of the moment.
More and more, I can acknowledge the times I feel anger, loneliness, sorrow, guilt, terror, despair, or shame.
I know that the more I can acknowledge and accept what I feel without criticism or blame, the more I allow myself to heal.
More and more, I can accept my feelings, soften around them, and breathe through them.
I am better and better able to be kind and gentle toward myself.
I can see myself becoming more and more patient with myself and others.
More and more, I know that when I can let go of harsh expectations of myself and others, I allow myself to heal.
I know that I am learning to listen to my body and sense what it needs.
More and more, I consider the possibility that my body is my ally, my oldest friend, my steadiest companion.
I know that when I appreciate my body, respect it, and take good care of it, I allow myself to heal.
I can see and feel radiant sunlight warming my body, sending comfort and solace deep into my heart.
I can see and feel a powerful blue-green wave of healing washing through me from head to toe, clearing away any unwanted debris and taking it out with the tide.
I recognize that there are parts of me that are tied to the past and feel threatened by this healing energy. I invite all parts of myself into the present where I may receive this energy in a way and at a pace that is congruent with my true needs at all levels of my being.
I can see and feel a warm, glowing blanket of magical comfort surrounding me, enveloping me with peace and safety.
More and more, I can perceive the invisible assistance around me, guiding me back to my own strength, courage, and resourcefulness.
I salute my ability to survive and my courage to heal in spite of what I have experienced.
I understand that there are treasures waiting to be discovered in the anguish of my past.
I know there is a part of me deep inside that can never be diminished or destroyed.
I know that beneath challenges that overtake me at times, there's a place where I am radiant with the beauty of my own being.
More and more, I know that a time is coming when I will accept my sorrow, release my anger, and forgive myself.
I look forward to the time I will reclaim my full strength and express the full range of my gifts.
I know that my heart is large enough to hold my suffering and to transform it.
More and more, I can see the beauty all around me and draw nourishment from it.
More and more, I can take the time to touch a leaf, smell the morning air, and receive the caress of a soft breeze on my face.
I welcome my awareness at the peaceful power deep in my heart, the seat of my strength, and the home of my spirit.
More and more, I know that my heart can heal with the vast energy of its own loving kindness.
I can feel around me a protective cushion of energy containing all of the kindness, good wishes, gentle smiles, and sweet gestures that have been sent my way.
I know that I have things to do, gifts to give, purposes to accomplish. I require my full strength and courage and peace of mind to do this.
All right, thank you, everybody. So I recorded myself saying these, and I did it a while back. So I'm trying not to use the word dark to connote evil or pain or suffering. And the way that it read used the word dark. So I suggest that if you listen to these, just try and remember when you hear the word dark to take that out or reframe it in your mind. But you could listen to this. It's less than 8 minutes long. You could listen to it if you want to, anytime you want, every day for a certain amount of time if you want to. Or you can create your own recording and listen to that. So I was going to bring us into a restorative yoga pose. I want to, but I'm feeling like time is not going to allow it. So I'm just going to talk us through what we were going to do, which was to get in a restorative yoga pose, laying on the floor with our legs up a wall or on the couch or on a chair. Lift up the hips so the hips are higher than the heart. Maybe tie the legs so that they can flop out and not have to hold them. And then just undo. Pick a place in the body like your neck or your shoulders and give it the message to just let go, unwind, unravel. And then we were just going to stay there for a little bit, listen to some music. And I invite you to now stand up and breathe and stretch as we move forward. And you can take an eye break. You don't need to be looking at the screen for this part. So I think everybody might remember, I hope, that we talked about the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is also called the pneumogastric nerve, or the cranial nerve number 10, or the wandering nerve, and Resmaa calls it the soul nerve. Resmaa Menakem, who wrote My Grandmother's Hands. So the soul nerve connects the brainstem, the pharynx, the spine, the heart, the lungs, the stomach, the gut. It's the unifying organ of the entire nervous system. It's the largest organ in the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is the one that's involuntary, and it includes the sympathetic nervous system, which is sympathetic to our survival and kicks us into fight-flight response. And it also is, the autonomic system also houses the parasympathetic nervous system, which has the parachute that lets us down slowly and calmly to the ground so that we're more grounded and we have are calmer and have conservation of energy. The largest part, this I find thrillingly interesting. The largest part of the vagus nerve goes through the gut. There are about 100 million neurons from the vagus nerve going through the gut. So I usually think of the spinal cord as carrying all the nerves to the body, but the gut has more nerves in it than the spinal cord. That's kind of amazing. And so that's why biologists call the gut our second brain, because we say things like, I know it in my gut. Know is a word that connotes cognition, thought. I know it in my gut because we feel things through the gut. We have so much feeling in the gut. So the vagus nerve communicates through, it's very, very, very sensitive, and it communicates through vibes and sensations between different parts of the body. It receives and spreads messages telling the muscles when to constrict, when to release, when to move, when to relax, when to settle. It gets messages from the lizard brain to fight, flight, or freeze, and it sends that message to the rest of the body. It also gets messages from the parasympathetic nervous system to calm down. It's okay, you're safe now, relax, and sends that message to the rest of the body. With practice, we can begin to consciously and deliberately relax our muscles, settle our bodies, and soothe ourselves during difficult or high-stress situations. This is really important because it'll help us avoid reflexively sliding into fight, flee, or freeze response in situations where such a response is unnecessary. So if you're not standing up, breathing, and stretching and you want to, I just want to invite you to do that. And also take an eye break. Don't need to look at the screen. Self-care is the constant practice of not letting more pain accumulate. It's about continually remembering that our lives are of value. It is the active process of settling our nervous systems so that we have more access to the present moment. Susan Raffo. So if you want to look at the screen, our color coding sharing time is back. So you can unmute yourself. And in chapter 10 of My Grandmother's Hands, Resma talks about soul nerve training. And he gives very specific ways of doing this, of suggestions of ways of doing this. And we're just going to read through the list of things. And if you remember your color, we'll just read through them real quickly.
Thank you, Amy. Humming.
Belly breathing.
Buzzing.
Slow rocking.
Rubbing your belly.
20s.
Humming.
Singing aloud to yourself.
Chanting.
Breathe, ground, and resource.
Touching your discomfort.
All right. So I wanted to do a couple of these, but again, I want to give us plenty of time to have another longer discussion today. So I'll probably do less than I thought I was going to do, but I still want to do some. So remember at the beginning when we were tuning in, we did humming. We're going to do humming again. So keep unmuted. Focus your attention on the center of your belly behind your navel. Breathe in and out deeply and slowly a few times. Feel your belly pull the air as if you were pulling air into your belly all the way down into it. And on the fourth or fifth exhalation, hum a low, even tone. Inhale naturally and repeat this a few times, varying the pitch with each new exhalation. Please continue. We're going to do this for 2 or 3 minutes. Don't need to look at the screen. So stop humming and notice what your body is experiencing. Notice what's changed from before you started humming. What stayed the same? What sensations, thoughts, or images are arising? What does your body want to do now? Does it want to move, hum some more, run and hide, fight? Without doing anything else, notice whatever your body is experiencing right now. Note, an alternative is to pick a song with a simple melody that feels comforting to your body and experiment with a variety of tunes. I'm going to leave the slides so that when you get these slides, you have these, each one of these soul nerve training techniques to read through and to try out. And I'm going to bring us to breathe, ground, and resource. So take a few more deep breaths and let your body relax as much as it wants to now. Think of a person, animal, or place that makes you feel safe and secure. Imagine that right now, this person or animal is beside you, or that you're in that safe place. Imagine, smell it, see it in your mind's eye. Taste the flavor in your mouth while you have this person or animal beside you and you're in your safe place. Breathing naturally, let yourself experience this safety and security for another minute. Notice how and what you experience in your body, your physical body. And then slowly look around you, including directly behind you. And locate yourself in the here and now. Note, you can do this exercise standing, sitting, or lying down with your eyes either open or closed. And we're going to bring that exercise right into the next one, touching your discomfort. This final activity is an especially helpful way of teaching your body to settle during times of stress and difficulty. Think of a moderately painful but not totally traumatic incident from your past. Focus your attention on a painful aspect of that incident. And as you do, notice all the sensations in your body. Notice the thoughts, images, and emotions that arise, without responding to them in any way. Just notice. Without disengaging from that incident or from your body, practice breathing, grounding, and resourcing as we just did. Feel your body as it relaxes and settles. And then let go of the past incident and return to the here and now. Note, if a part of your body feels sore or tight or strange in some way, put your hand on it and support it for a few seconds. Note, practice this activity every day or two, and over time, slowly increase how long you stay with the painful memory, until you're able to relax and settle while experiencing it for a minute or more. I invite you to stand, breathe, stretch, qigong, shake, whatever feels right to move things through and out. And take an eye break. No need to see the screen. Healing isn't fully healing if it doesn't in some way connect the individual to the community. We heal so that communities can take on healing as part of their everyday ways of being. Healing isn't fully healing if it doesn't in some way connect the individual to the community. We heal so that communities can take on healing as part of their everyday ways of being. Susan Raffo. In chapter 11 of My Grandmother's Hands, Resmaa talks about settling and safeguarding. Settling using things like breathe, ground, and resource revisited, coming into the room, a body scan, squeeze and hold, finger balance, and soothing your hands. You can look at chapter 11 to read a lot more about each one of them. Resmaa also talks about self-care growth routines that we each need to develop, including enough sleep, good nutrition, enough water, regular exercise, simple pleasures, and meditation, prayer, or chanting. Again, each one of these is discussed in a lot more detail in chapter 11. Resmaa also talks about keeping our bodies healthy and resilient by avoiding tobacco, monitoring and limiting drug use, or not drug use at all. Reach and maintain a healthy body weight. Notice if you fall into negative feedback loop and come back out of it. Pay attention to your body. And visit our doctors and dentists regularly, whatever that means to you. Again, these are in greater detail if you want to read more about what Resmaa suggests in chapter 11. And now we're going to talk about clean pain. Clean pain. Healing trauma often means facing what we don't want to face, what we've been reflexively avoiding or fleeing. By walking into that pain, experiencing it fully, and moving it through it, we metabolize it and we put an end to it. We don't have to look at the pain, think of the pain, be in the pain. We have to settle ourselves to do this. In this process, we also grow, create more room in our nervous system for flow and coherence, and build our capacity for further growth. Further growth. Clean pain is about choosing integrity over fear. It's about letting go of what is familiar but harmful, and finding the best parts of ourselves and making a leap with no guarantee of safety or praise. This healing does not happen in our head, it happens in our body. and it's more likely to happen in a body that can stay settled in the midst of conflict and uncertainty, or at least come back to settle when we find that we've lost our settling. When you come out the other side of this process, you will experience more than just relief. Your body will feel more settled and present. There will be a little more freedom in it, more room to move. You'll experience a sense of flow, and you'll also have grown up a notch. You don't know what your situation will look like when you come out the other side, but what we have to do is stand in our integrity and accept the discomfort and move forward into the unknown. So if you want to look at the screen, we've got 5 anchors to read about, and they're color-coded again, so you can unmute. I'll read the black, the anchor, and then you read your color-coded anchor. So we're not going to go into details about these anchors. We're just going to read the 5 anchors, the things that help us stay settled, or things that we need to do in order to move through clean pain. Anchor 1.
Soothe yourself to quiet your mind, calm your heart, and settle your body.
Anchor 2.
Simply notice the sensations, vibrations, and emotions in your body instead of reacting to them.
Anchor 3.
Accept the discomfort and notice when it changes instead of trying to flee from it.
Anchor 4.
Stay present in your body as you move through the unfolding experience with all of its ambiguity and uncertainty, and respond from the best parts of yourself.
Anchor 5.
Safely discharge any energy that remains.
And these 5 anchors, we want to use them when we sense a conflict building, when that conflict looks and feels as if it will continue to escalate, and when we feel a growing discomfort in our soul nerve. All right, I'm going to read the black. You're going to read your color code. Stop, drop, and roll. Stop.
Whatever you're doing, thinking, saying, stop. Don't go any further down the same emotional, mental path.
Drop.
Drop back. Pay attention to what you experience in your body, to what is going on around you, to where the situation seems to be headed, and to how you're helping to push it in that direction.
Then ask yourself, is that where I want this interaction to go? If not, say so out loud. Let's not go where I think we're headed. Let's figure out something different.
Roll.
Roll with whatever happens next in your body, but without fighting, fleeing, or freezing. Don't try to control it, run from it, squelch it, or tear it to pieces.
You might suddenly weep, laugh, shudder, moan, or hug yourself. If so, let go and allow that reaction.
If it will harm you or someone else, to let go, to roll with it, refer to Anchor 5. Safely discharge any energy that remains and channel the energy so it doesn't cause harm. All right, if you want to stand, breathe, and stretch, now is a great time to do that. You can take an eye break, and I'm going to read through these next couple of slides, and then we're going to come back together and share. Healing personal trauma. A traumatic experience is sometimes described as an attempted action that got thwarted and became stuck in the body. Complete the action that was thwarted. This releases the trauma energy that can then be used to metabolize the trauma. Most actions can be completed either literally or symbolically. Throughout this process, use the 5 anchors to stay in your body and in the present. Pay close attention to what you experience in your body. Notice any changes that occur. Note, completing an action isn't always deliberate or cognitive. Your body may complete an action without you consciously noticing it. This might involve a small gesture, such as brushing something away or holding out your hand. Movements you didn't have a chance to make during the original event. Healing intergenerational trauma. Completing an action sets up the conditions for healing not only in the present. Healing moves backward and forward in time. When you heal a soul wound, you heal the people who came before you. You heal their presence in your life, their presence in your memory, and the expression of your DNA. This opens more room for flow and compassion inside you. You heal the generations to come because your healing means that you won't pass on your trauma to your descendants. You may also complete an action that was attempted and thwarted by a traumatized ancestor. The trauma got stuck in their body and passed down to you. Your own efforts now simultaneously heal your trauma and release future generations from its grip. Settling and activation. It's good to note that settling and activation both need to occur depending on what's needed in the moment. While mending trauma, opposing forces occur in the body, settling energy and protective energy. Protective energy can manifest as activation, an urge to move, a constriction, a sudden surge or feeling of being antsy or anxious. During the early stages of healing, there's more protective energy than settling energy. This is good to know about. This is common and normal. There's no need to do anything to change this. Just be patient. The natural capacity to settle builds with practice using settling activities in the 5 anchors. When I close my eyes, I still feel my body settling into my grandmother's soft, thick arm, holding me steady and safe across my chest, in the wave-like motion of being rocked, of becoming part of the flow. Resma Menachem. Remember we said that the vagus nerve communicates through vibes and sensations between different parts of the body. It also is very sensitive and communicates through vibes and sensations between people. I know I've said this before, but this is so stunning. I wanted to bring it in again today. We have a felt sense through the vagus nerve of love, compassion, caring, empathy, of fear, dread, anxiety, disgust, despair, loneliness, of hope, sadness, grief. We have a felt sense between us of things that make us human. Give bodies the right context and encouragement, and they will begin to harmonize as well as settle. When, over time, enough bodies heal from historical, intergenerational, and personal trauma and learn to harmonize, that harmony can turn into a culture of resilience and flow. I'm not going to have us read through these because I really want to get to being able to have some sharing time. So in chapter 14, Resma talks about harmonizing with other bodies. There are lots of techniques and things to do with others that we know and trust. I'm going to just suggest that you check that out. I'm going to stop the recording.
Goodbye. Love all of you.
Bye.
Love you. Ricky says goodbye
Adieu.
as well. He loves you as well.
Love
Goodbye,
you all.
everybody. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.